cash, nothing big.
Oh, we're live now.
Sweet.
um, yeah, we're out here. Um, I'll tweet it out real quick.
Sweet. Little 10-minute rundown.
All right, so I mean, we kind of just broke down everything to ourselves in being what we thought was live. But unfortunately, we were talking to ourselves, which, like you said, we had a very good conversation with just
Yeah.
ourselves. Um, Yankees are one of several teams looking at Aaron Sanchez as a pen piece. David Robertson being out for the season definitely hurt the Phillies. There's no doubt
It
about
does.
it.
That's a big one.
Although I've liked what the Phillies have done when it comes to like Drew Smiley
Yeah.
and adding guys like this that have really just given them depth more than anything. They just got Corey Dickerson. You
Another
know,
great depth piece that really helps with their kind of versatility and being able to kind of move Kingery around. He gives them a perfect kind of situational bat that they can even use more frequently.
right? And you know what's crazy is let's talk about the Red Sox for a minute. They have been like so quiet, not a peep out of them about bullpen or anything like that.
Exactly.
I follow Jared Carabas from Barstool, often, and he's like so lost. Like there's 10 minutes in this deadline, and there's talks of other executives from other teams describing the Red Sox as quiet, like there's nothing coming. Like
Right.
all and it doesn't even have to be like a Shane Green or a Vasquez. Look at the Mark Melansons, the
Yeah.
Hunter Stricklands,
The
something.
David Phelps the Cubs picked up. I mean, it's like Derek Holland. I mean, anything to shore up a bullpen.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know why. Like imagine where the Red Sox would be if they had something. If they got a Kimbrel. Something. The amount of
Exactly.
blown saves they've had or losses due to giving up the lead, the division would look different. It'd be much closer than it is, and that's the truth. What we got going on? What do we got going on? Anything?
Seeing that the Mets are looking to buy more relievers. So for a team that's actively selling pitchers, they seem to be buying more than not.
So Cash, seeing some funny tweets. Cashman said, I think it was 2018 and 2019 free agency. He was like, "We're a full-fledged Death Star." I don't know if you've ever heard that saying from him, but saying that the Yankees were a Death Star, and a lot of people, fans, and insiders and this are like, "Man, no starting pitching. I wonder if this Death Star got a flat tire."
Oh, nice.
I so I was talking about David Robertson being hurt. It was announced that he's done for the year, which is with not only Robertson, with McCutchen being out for the year. Those are two huge pieces that this team has lost.
Exactly.
Harper starting to pick it up, like he always does in the second half. The Red Sox will not make any bullpen moves. This is from insider after insider after insider. Like,
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for, I mean, anything big or anything even like Braves and Nationals so far seem like they did really well. I like both Reds and Indians trade deadline moves. I feel like they pretty much nailed this.
yeah,
Some of these big teams in the playoffs though,
The
kind
Brewers, they got
of.
Trammell, right? That's a good piece with the three-team trade over there in with the Bauer deal. They got
Yeah,
Trammell out of that.
Padres got Trammell.
Oh,
He should be he he projects well.
I said
He's
Brewers. I
had
meant I meant Padres.
yeah.
Sorry.
He's had a little bit of a rough season this year, so hopefully he can pick back up to his projections. Uh, he projects very well. Yeah, I'm trying to see these Red Sox real quick on their.
7 minutes to go.
I'll be honest, the Brewers' moves have surprised me for a team that's where they're at in contention, right on the edge of a playoff spot. And I know they needed some starter innings, but the starters they added are both significantly below average and have also performed very poorly against the teams in their division, the Cardinals, the Cubs, that they're fighting for a playoff spot with. I almost feel like getting the players they got helps their division rivals more than it helps them. And as a Cubs fan, I'm sitting here like, good job, Brewers. Thank you.
So a lot of teams, a lot of guys that are covering the sport, they're saying that the deals have to be done by 4. But obviously, word doesn't have to get out there till then. Do you think there's gonna be any buzzer beaters of any sort? Any kind of last minute bombs coming
We've
in?
seen some of those the last couple of years where deadline comes and deadline goes and everyone thinks it's done, and then 20, 30 minutes, even an hour afterwards, this news pops up of, oh, by the way, this happened right at the deadline, we got this in at the last second. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again.
I agree. We were talking about the Red Sox needing a bullpen. I want to read this off to you real quick.
Yeah.
So with 5 minutes left on the deadline, here are some of the relievers that have been dealt today: Shane Green, Mark Melancon, Hunter Strickland, Drew Pomeranz, Ray Black, Rennis Elias, Daniel Hudson, and Nate Jones. And you mean to tell me that Dave Dombrowski and the Red Sox couldn't get 1 or 2 of those?
Yeah, and that's just today. That doesn't even factor in like the guys we were talking about that moved in the last couple of days. I mean, like Derek Holland, who's a lefty specialist, David Phelps, who's pretty much a righty specialist. I mean, they could have shored up specific situational stuff with any of those guys or these guys above.
It doesn't make much sense to me, and in the end, this could affect them from making this could be what hurts them, and this could be what helps them miss out on the postseason, because that 4-game set against the Yankees, they looked phenomenal. They looked like their offense was clicking, their bats are hot, starting pitching is doing very well. Their bullpen, I mean, you've seen it against the Rays. They blew a couple leads there in that series. The division is not necessarily close, but I feel like it'll definitely creep up in the next couple of weeks. But for the wild card, the American League wild card is very close too.
It's starting to shake up into a pretty good looking race. And I'll be honest, I'm pulling for the Rays. I love teams that take very proactive and kind of unique approaches. I love the way they manage their roster and the way they get guys on the field in different positions. And I love watching the Rays play baseball. I think it's so much fun. So I definitely want to see the Rays make the playoffs.
For sure.
And they're sitting right there on the cusp of that wild card spot. They're game and a half ahead of Boston.
It's kind of crazy to think about the fact that we have 3 minutes and some of these contenders, even the Astros haven't even gone out and got a starting pitcher.
No, and that's been what they've been talking about.
I mean, are they sleeping? Are they hibernating for the winter? Angels are trying to finalize the trade with Max Stassi from the Astros. That's another one of those August trades to me, with Max Stassi there. So Not necessarily breaking news. We kind of figured it. Felipe Vasquez trade has not been in place between the Dodgers and Pirates as of 2 minutes ago. So, I mean, good point here by Bob Nightingale. The trade deadline ends in 2 minutes, but trades will trickle out for the next 30 or so minutes after they hit the commissioner's office and kind of go through there. So, do you think we're
And yeah, I think
we're
we might
missing
be seeing
something?
that sort of coming through.
There was a tweet from a GM that I guess was a former GM, Steve Phillips, former GM, um, Mets GM. He just
Yeah,
tweeted out and said, "Prospects get general managers fired. When you have a chance to win, you never know what next year will bring." That is, excuse me, an excellent point. I mean, this can be you can use this with so many teams. The Yankees, the Astros, the Rays made some moves. Nothing huge. Um, the
I think
Twins. I haven't seen the Twins do
prospects though.
much. The Twins do much at all. Like the problem with some of these teams is they do have prospects. If you look at the Yankees, for instance, they have a lot of depth in their farm system, but a lot of their guys are A, double A, low A ball. They're
Exactly, and
looking for major league ready talent or being in triple A. They're not going lower than that.
no, and but if you're a team holding on to those prospects, even if they're highly valued, if they're at that level, give them up. It's the guys that are in AAA that, like Gleyber Torres a couple of years ago when the Cubs traded him to the Yankees. I don't think anybody was getting upset that the Yankees took on a prospect at that point in time. And I don't think anybody's upset now they took on that prospect. But if you're getting a guy that's in single A that just has high upside, that's a lot bigger risk, and that's a lot longer before they become an impact player. Those are the kind of moves that get a GM fired if they're making a trade for 3 or 4 single A guys with high upside versus getting that one solid talent in a guy like Gleyber Torres who's already major league ready. You know what I mean?
This is so cool. You know who? Obviously, we all know Tom Verducci. One of his quotes, which is exactly what we're talking about, he goes, "I've yet to see anyone walk around with a ring that says best farm system in baseball. That's not what we're here for. Go win the World Series. Go out and get a Vasquez if you're the Dodgers. Go get some starting pitching, a Robbie Ray. Get a overwhelm the Giants for a Bumgarner. You don't want to do it, but do it. It it's that kind of deadline. And coming from Joel Sherman, Wheeler is staying. Zach Wheeler not on the move. Very shocked by that, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Especially with the addition of Stroman. Especially. But it's 3:01, so it's past the deadline. Felipe
Past the deadline.
Vasquez was not traded. Vasquez stays.
There still may be some moves to trickle out, but I think from at least the big name perspective, everything I'm seeing is suggesting all these guys didn't get moved.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like me and Noah were talking. I mean, there's been plenty of off seasons where the free agent class was supposed to be something spectacular, and it's just been so
Yeah.
dead and so quiet. And with this deadline, I feel that exact same feeling.
Yeah, it's that business side of baseball taking over the entertainment side, and and yeah, I understand that the goal is to make money, but at the same time, the money comes from fans being entertained, and they're draining that entertainment value out of something very exciting in the free agent and the trade deadline aspects.
Right. So Jason Stark just said crazy things happen at 4 p.m. Eastern. I remember texting an executive who was part of the wild last-minute four-team Nomar deal in 2004 to ask all names in the deal. His reply was, "I'm not sure," and this was sitting 4:15. So like you said, things could still trickle in. We have people in our Twitter mentions fighting over their teams, the Nationals and I believe the Padres. I don't know, but they're fighting over whose team is better.
Nice. So it looks like for Shane Green, the Tigers got Joey Wentz and Travis Demerit.
And what do they look like? Because obviously Shane
I'm,
Green
I'm
is.
not sure on the yeah. I'm trying to pull them up still because I don't know much about either of them. Travis Demerit. So Joey Wentz is at Double A right now. Looks like he's a starting pitcher. Seems like he gives up a lot of home runs and a lot of walks, but he seems to strike guys out at a pretty decent rate. His ERA is about 4.72 at Double A, which
Well,
at Double A level that's probably a little bit high. But he's young. He's 21. He's about 3 years younger than the average guy at his level. So he's definitely being there already, showing some good upside. All right, let's see this other guy, Travis Demerit,
Shane
second
Green to the.
baseman, also Triple A, young for the level. Looks like he's a pretty solid prospect. He looks like probably the main haul in that trade. 20 home runs at double or at Triple A so far with a 286 batting average and a 387 on base. He looks like a pretty solid hitter at second base, and he's still young for the level. So that looks like a pretty good haul for Shane Green.
What was it again?
So Joey Wentz, starting pitcher, Double A. He's 21. He's given up a lot of home runs and walks, but he looks like he's got some pretty good upside, especially for his age at the level he's at. And Travis Demerit's second baseman, who's got looks like really good pop and good bat skills. He's sitting around 286, got a 390 on base and 20 home runs at AAA this year.
Yeah, definitely a haul for the Tigers. And by all means, a very good move for the Braves. We can't forget about that. That either.
Yeah, no, they're getting like we were talking about with prospects. They gave up two guys that have obviously potential to be great major leaguers, but at the same time, they're still just potential. There's nothing guaranteed for either of them. Getting someone who's already shown success at the major league level and can help bring them a title. So yeah, sources are saying Bumgarner stays, Wheeler stays, Vasquez stays.
Yeah, I just tweeted out that was boring because I'm bored now. Oh, the Yankees made a move. The Yankees have acquired left-handed pitcher Alfredo Garcia from the Rockies in exchange for Joseph Harvey.
Nice.
Yes. Yes, that's the pitching they needed.
Marlins and Rays made a move also. Marlins got Jesus Sanchez and Ryan Stanek from Tampa Bay, which Stanek to me is a pretty good haul. He's a pitcher I like to watch. And the Rays got back Nick Anderson and Trevor Richards.
Yeah, I just seen that. Ryan Stanek. That was one of the Rays' big pieces.
Yeah. That one to me is a bigger move. Stanek was a big part of that rotation.
That's huge, actually. How's Nick Anderson doing?
I think kind of like normal low batting average, good pop. I'm gonna pull up his stats for the season real quick, and we'll take a look and see how he's doing. Oh, this is the pitcher, Nick Anderson. My bad. So he's got 43 innings, about league average ERA. He's got a good FIP though. He looks like he should be doing a lot better than his numbers are pulling up. Great strikeout rate, about league average walk rate. looks like he's probably going to be a good bullpen piece. And shoot, they might even try moving him into a like an opener style role, given how they use the rotation. Let's see this. I think Richard's probably going to be the big haul on that. He's been slightly below league average almost across the board stat wise. I find that an interesting trade for the Rays, giving up Stanek, unless he just hasn't been performing this year. But I always like watching him, and I feel like he's been doing good when I've watched him. Yeah, I mean, his numbers suggest he's been putting up a good year. 133 ERA plus, about league average home run rate, above league average strikeout rate. That looks like it was more just a cost control trade for the Rays. You got two pitchers that probably have more control than what Stanek had.
Yeah, Mads Mumgarner, no deal. Zach Wheeler,
Yep.
no deal. Noah Syndergaard, no deal. Mike Minor, no deal. I don't
That's
see
another one.
I don't see Robbie Ray's name anywhere.
I don't yet either, but I'm surprised Minor wasn't moved. The Rangers, where they're at, losing Gallo, and there's not a whole lot of hope
Mike
for them
Leake
this season.
goes to the D-backs.
Seeing stuff that Aaron Sanchez might be going to the Astros. Yeah, and for the Diamondbacks selling, they acquired a couple pitchers. That's kind of odd.
I think the asking price that some of these sellers were asking were kind of unreasonable, and that could really be part of why
Yeah.
Aaron Sanchez just got traded to the Astros.
Lots of people commenting on how boring this one was.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Diamondbacks buy and they go out and get Mike Leake.
Oh, hey.
Do they do that though with another move lingering?
So how about this? Nick Castellanos was dressed up, ready for the game, and was listed on the lineup card, and he's no longer in the dugout, and Jody Mercer has stepped on deck where he was previously hitting.
Because he just went to the Cubs. Oh my God! Nick Castellanos to the Cubs.
And see, unlike the Reds with Puig, they pulled him out of the game. They didn't let him keep playing.
Dude, you were just talking about you being upset with the Cubs. That's a huge piece.
It is a huge piece. It'll depend on what they gave up, though. That to me, because they have pieces that could have played in that role still. So it'll be, to me, what they give up will be the bigger factor on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's some stuff starting to roll in now. The fact that Ray hasn't been mentioned yet as staying put is intriguing. I'd like to see what the Astros gave up for Sanchez.
Sanchez and Biagini to the Astros for Derek Fisher.
Ooh, that's a pretty big piece to move. Fisher's got a lot of upside and I think he's got a pretty good floor too. He should be a good piece there.
Matt, I'm interested to see what the Astros could do with Aaron Sanchez.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanchez was so good a couple years ago, and then with all these ball changes, the blister problem, maybe they've got a way to, because the Astros haven't had that problem with a lot of their pitchers. A lot of teams have had these pitchers with blister after blister, and Sanchez has been one of those guys, but the Astros have not had that problem. So maybe they've got something they can work with to help prevent that.
Yeah. I don't. I'm kind of shocked by Castellanos going last minute.
Yeah, I know it said like earlier there was a lot of talk about the Cubs and Tigers having been close to a deal, but then it fallen through. So I was kind of surprised that it actually still happened.
Oh my gosh. The Astros just got Zach Greinke.
No way. Holy cow. Now that's huge. That's huge. And that explains why the Diamondbacks were loading up on pitchers. Damn. That rotation now looks real solid for the playoffs with Verlander, Greinke, and Cole. If they weren't already the team to beat in the American League, they are now.
Oh.
Yeah. Now that's going to make now from a Yankees fan perspective, this makes the Yankees not doing a whole lot look even worse than it already would have. When your biggest playoff rival
I
nails down Greinke, Cashman's going to have a lot of fans to answer to on this one. I mean, Severino and Betances coming back at full health doesn't even begin to rectify not getting a pitcher after the Astros go out and get Greinke.
Dude, I have no words. I have no words.
That's a huge deal right there.
That is ridiculous. They really did it.
Here's the best part. Ready? And this tweet from Bleacher Nation sums it up. He says, "Holy shit! This just went from boring as fuck to oh my god, I can't keep up."
That's true. That's true.
Wow, that Greinke! I can't wait to see the rest of that.
Yeah, I want to know who they got back. They had to take on a big contract though, but Brian
I'm sure
Cashman just allowed Zach Greinke to go to the Astros.
Yeah,
and we're hoping for Severino to come back and pitch after this injury, who hasn't pitched
yeah,
all year.
exactly. I mean, it makes giving up Frazier and Schmidt for Ray almost seem like it would have been worth it.
Oh. I want to scream, Brandon. I want to scream. The Diamondbacks are getting 4 prospects for Greinke. Do you think their top prospect went that way? I don't think so. Kyle Tucker?
I doubt Tucker's included, to be honest with you. The Astros have been really good about not moving their top prospect. Fisher moving. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they included a pit like Whitley. Forrest Whitley, I could see him being part of it.
The Astros just got Greinke, Sanchez, and Biagini. The Yankees got a minor league arm.
Yeah. The Astros got 3 major league pitchers. They got Greinke, a multi-Cy Young winner. They got Sanchez, who was an ERA leader and a Cy Young candidate. And Biagini, who's been a mid-rotation level arm, but can probably pitch great out of the bullpen or in kind of a split start role with McCullers. I mean, that's a huge take for the Astros. They just improved a team that was already one of the best in the league. And so far, not knowing what they gave up for Greinke yet, they didn't give up a whole lot for the first 2.
It's Kyle Tucker's not in it. It's Forrest Whitley.
That's all I heard. It was that. Man, so yeah, Urquidy gets out. Oh no.
You kind of knew that they were going to be looking to replace him.
And Greinke's still got 2 full years left on his deal. So they've got him the rest of this year and then the next 2 years.
Verlander, Cole, Greinke, World Series in Houston, waiting for George Springer to go to another October MVP.
All right, Cubs deal stings a little bit, but it's pretty solid deal. They didn't give up too much. They gave up a couple pitching prospects, Paul Orkin and Alex Lane. Nothing super major though. They didn't give up either big name prospects for him. That I feel a lot better about that trade for the Cubs.
What's crazy about Greinke is he was literally just on the mound.
Yeah, he was just on the mound.
Rays make another deal. They said Adam Klorik to the Dodgers. Wow, that's a good move for the Dodgers. Adam Klorik is a hard throwing lefty, I believe, out of the pen for the Rays. The Rays gave up Stanek and Klorak, which is kind of like that was their strength.
Yeah, and the guys they got back are, like I said, they're both about league average. Kind of surprising to get those guys both back.
Scooter Gennett just got traded to the Giants.
It's a high price.
That's a huge mood.
That's kind of surprising. Yeah, but they kind of were deep at second base, and he hasn't been performing well since he came back from his injury. I could kind of see him being seen as extra weight right now. That's a good move from their part, not as a player that has promise but isn't really useful for their organization at the moment.
See,
that's a good move for them.
Makes me think the Astros were not on Greinke's no trade clause. He's out west. Diamondbacks is out west. I mean, that makes sense.
Yep,
It's a good fit.
it is. And Greinke's a great pitcher, but Greinke's got those. I don't want to necessarily just call them the mental issues because that's not really what it is, but the focus issues. And they've surfaced a couple times in the past where he's really struggled at times, and he struggled when he first came to Arizona as well, and he struggled when he first went to LA, and a lot of that was kind of getting himself into a groove and a focus with his new team and environment. And I feel like, as good of a pitcher as he is, that New York might not have been a good fit for him with the media coverage, and it might have been taking him longer to adjust to that market, if that makes sense.
Can I read you something? Your 2019 leaders in WHIP. Verlander, 0.81. Greinke, 0.94. And Garrett Cole with a 1. That's your 1, 2,
That's nuts.
and 5th best WHIP in the league. And that's your 1, 2, 3 starters in Houston.
That is nuts right there. That is a great rotation. So Kyle Tucker was not part of the trade. Now let's see. Like I think Whitley was going to be more likely the name than included. So let's see here. Lance McCullers' reaction to the Greinke trade is fabulous. By the way, you should check his tweet out if you haven't seen it.
I have not. Let me take a look. Oh my sweet Jesus. Well, for those of you that are still watching over here on this live stream, I apologize to everyone. We were supposed to start at 2, 3 Eastern. A lot of pieces moving. A lot of things happen at once today. And the live stream was something we just threw up last minute. But Brandon, I appreciate you hanging out, talking with me.
My pleasure. Like I said, it's been fun.
Running these emotions through our blood together. I mean, hey, what's your take on the Cubs getting their man?
I feel like it was a good. I feel like it was a good haul for what they gave up. They gave up some future pitching prospects, but neither one of those were the guys that they were absolutely counting on as pitching prospects down the road. They were definitely trade chip prospects. It hurts a little because they both had some good upside, but it wasn't any of the big names like Azalea or Marquez. I'm happy with the fact we were able to hang on to both those guys to get a bat that we desperately
So-
need. So I'm happy with that.
We just seen what they got: Corbin Martin, JB Bustakis, and 2 other recent high picks of their system for Greinke.
Wow. I like Buskauskas. I was a huge fan of him in spring training this year, seeing some of his stuff. I felt like his stuff was almost ready to play in the majors at this point already. I think he's going to be pretty
Someone in our
solid.
chat just said Yankees are in major trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not talk about it.
Wow.
All right, but that'll do it here.
Yep.
Um,
Perfect.
it's been fun.